Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today in this educational presentation, and welcome. Now, today I want to talk to you about advanced breakout trading. Now, I know a lot of you have tried breakout trading before. I know I have. And many times you'll get limited results because breakout trading is difficult. Oftentimes you'll buy on a supposed breakout, and the minute you buy, it goes straight down, or you'll sell on a breakdown, and the minute you sell, it goes straight up. So this is why a lot of traders have difficulty in trading the standard way to trade breakouts. For example, let's take a look at this chart definition of what a breakout actually is. A breakout refers to when a price of an asset moves above a resistance area. And conversely, a breakdown refers to when a price of an asset moves below a support area. Now, if you see anything here in common, it looks familiar, it's the common denominator of support and resistance. So this is what the standard definition of breakouts or breakdowns actually are. They're based on support and resistance. And it's because of this, I feel that most traders do not see the type of results that they're promised when trading standard breakouts, because there really is no consistency in trading support and resistance. Let me share with you what I mean here, all right? Here's an older chart we're looking at in Lulu. Now, someone looking at this would say, well, gosh, we've tried to get through here, here, here. So this is obviously some type of resistance, okay? So if you're thinking about buying this, what you want to see is it to close above this resistance area, and that's your cue to buy the stock, okay? So you wait, you're excited, it's going in your direction, and then all of a sudden this happens, okay? It gaps up a large amount, and you say to yourself, well, I can't buy now, it's way too high. And in fact, if I had purchased it somewhere around these lines here, this is where I'd most likely be wanting to sell. So you're a little frustrated, but you go to that chat room, and that guy in the chat room is telling you that, you know what, this is tremendously overbought now. It's gone up a little bit too high. So now, if you want to be more aggressive, why don't you sell and go short, or maybe buy some puts? It'll come down here, fill this gap, and then you can purchase on the pullback. So you say to yourself, yeah, you know, I missed the breakout, but I'll make it back by shorting it. So you decide to sell, and then this happens. Go straight up, right? Looks familiar. Well, in today's educational presentation, I'm going to show you an advanced way to trade breakouts, because using this specific indicator, it would have actually had you in right here in an advanced breakout entry, well in advance of having to wait for the standard resistance entry. So this is what we're going to be talking about today and sharing with you: advanced breakout trading. And the beauty of this is that everything is one click away on our platform, the PTS Primo charting platform that auto-identifies these advanced breakout areas. So welcome once again. My name is Steven Primo. I am the president and founder of Specialist Trading. For those of you who are familiar with my webinars, I give these free educational videos every week on Wednesday, usually at 10 o'clock. Sometimes we change because of other scheduling appointments, but there'll be an announcement at my sister site, Pro Trader Strategies, where I want to educate you, because that's really what we are. We are first and foremost an educational company. Our goal is to educate traders around the world. And I think I have the experience to do this. I've been trading now for 47 years. I started my career on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange, where I was a specialist. I was on the floor for 16 years, and 9 of those years I was a specialist, where I made markets in roughly about 50 or 60 stocks. So in the old days, if you wanted to buy or sell a particular stock, there's no such thing as electronic trading. You had to call your floor broker, and the floor broker would walk up to the trader who specialized in making a market in that particular stock. So that's how we get the name specialist trading. Now, in my 47 years of experience of trading the markets, I've traded just about every technique, method you can think of. So I know what works in terms of consistency, and I know what doesn't work. So that's why I formulated specialist trading with Pro Trader Strategies, with one goal in mind, and that was simply to educate traders so that you can ultimately make your own trading decisions. And you'll see that in today's educational class. Now, before we begin, as always, we are required to share this with you, so please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to share with you a lot of performance results using this particular breakout tool, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. And since we are first and foremost an educational company, all examples are strictly for educational purposes only. Now, to get more information and education on a daily basis, please feel free to follow us on Twitter or X however you'd like to call us. I post upwards of 5 or 7 different snapshots of signals that our methods have generated. So there's lots of great free education. Also, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. We are live streaming this on YouTube right now. So if you want to get more education and see past videos of us on YouTube, just click the subscribe button and you'll have a lot more information on us as well. Now, please remember, we are different from other webinars or educational companies in that our only goal is to teach you how to trade with the specialist edge. We're not going to talk about what we think the market's going to do. Did it bottom out? Did it top out? Is it going to go sideways? What the best stock is to buy or sell? That's for you to decide, because you see, a good mentor does not trade for you. He teaches you how to trade so that you can ultimately make these own decisions. There's one thing I've learned in my 47 years of trading. The reason why most traders fail is because they take themselves out of the game. Basically, you allow someone or something else to tell you what to buy or what to sell, what the perfect time frame is, what the perfect market is. And that really is a recipe for disaster. I know this firsthand experience because when I first started trading 47 years ago, it was the same thing. I was taught the same way, that I was supposed to listen to some guru and he was supposed to lead me on that road to success. But really, the only traders I've seen who are still trading, the ones that are still consistent and successful, are the ones that make their own trading decisions. So this is our goal, not to force feed you signals, but to provide you with the information and teach you how to trade so that you can ultimately make your own trading decisions. This is the way I was taught over 4 decades ago and what has sustained me, and hopefully it will be able to do the same for you. Okay. Now, a couple of things before we begin. This is being recorded. So if you have to leave early or if you are having technical issues, don't worry. Each and every one of you will get a link to this recording. Also, please be sure to ask me questions, but wait till the very end of class. I have upwards of 150 slides today to share with you. And if we stop for every slide, we'll be here far too long. So if you have a question, write it down and wait till the end of class. I promise I will answer all the questions then. Okay? All right. With that said, let's begin today's educational presentation. And we start out with a question. What if there was a breakout indicator specifically designed to identify these advanced breakout and breakdown areas? Well, here's the good news. There is. We call it the PSBI. That's abbreviation for the Primo Secret Breakout Indicator. Now, there's nothing secret about it. We teach you exactly how to apply it, but it's secret in that it's employing these secret areas to find out where the breakout actually is. So much more different than the standard breakout areas. Some of the highlights of this particular tool, it's based on a concept that I called, and I was taught some 4 decades ago, everyone out of the pool. Now, I talked about this in my book, Secrets of a Stock Exchange Specialist. And what it really means is that when a stock is ready to break out to the upside, it doesn't mean that it's breaking through resistance or that it hits some Fibonacci number or whatever, things like that. No, it just means that the last seller has sold and the sellers are out of the pool, and now the buyers can take advantage of the market. Conversely, when a stock is ready to break down, it doesn't mean that it's breaking some support or that some Fibonacci support level or some institution is pulled out. No, it just means that the last buyer has bought, and now the sellers are in the pool. The buyers are out of the pool and the sellers are in the pool. That's the basic concept that I was taught 4 decades ago, talked about it in my book, and that's what the PSBI is based on. So it's designed to identify these true breakout areas because it's employing this concept. Now, it's based on a proprietary indicator, and the good news is we've taken all the hard work out of it for you, so you don't have to sit there with a hand calculator trying to calculate the formula behind this indicator. The real secret to this indicator is not in the rules of how it's put together, but in actuality, how to trade it. And this is what we teach you in the course. Now, the good news is also you can apply it to any market in any direction. Now, it can also be used as either an exit tool or a stop and reverse, meaning that let's say you're long a stock. Now, we know a lot of traders don't like to go short. They feel uncomfortable shorting a stock or a particular market. That's okay. If you see a PSBI breakdown trigger, well, it just is a great place to exit your long position because most likely that's going to break down to the downside and you don't want to be a long a particular market. Or you can stop and reverse. The minute it generates a breakdown, well, you can go short and wait for it to generate a breakout and trade it back and forth like that. We have a number of students who trade it as stop and reverse. And then lastly, you can scan for nightly setups. That's the beauty of this. On our platform, you can scan for nightly setups so you'll know the next day where a breakout is about to take place. All right, so let me share with you this trading process because it's really simple, but it's a little bit different from most standard breakout trading rules you've seen before. All right, let's go back and look at that original chart of Lulu that we talked about. Remember, basic and standard breakouts are based on support and resistance, in this case, resistance. So you would have missed it entirely, and most likely you would have not have bought at these high levels thinking it's going to go higher. You know, the majority of traders most likely would have just skipped this one. But how can we have taken advantage of buying it down here? Well, on our platform, you simply click on PSBI right here in the upper green strategy tab. In the drop-down menu, click on buy area. Since you're interested in a breakout to the upside, that would be a buy area. And if the indicator, the PSBI, has generated a breakout area, it will display a green box, okay? Now, when price is in this green box, it just means that it's setting up for a breakout, but it actually has to break out above the green colored area. That is the breakout, not this standard resistance area, but this area right here. This is all you need to look at. So once you trade above, and we give you the price right here, I believe it was $297.54. Once you trade at that price or higher, you simply want to buy. That is your breakout entry right there. Now, a lot of traders say, well, Steve, does it have to close there? No, it does not have to close there. All it needs to do is trade there. And look, you would have gotten in a lot quicker. Most likely you would have taken advantage of this nice breakout to the upside. That was the standard resistance, but you're in a full week in advance. Now, this works to the downside as well. Let's look at this older chart in Moderna, okay? Someone would say, well, this is a major Fibonacci support, Steven. Look, we broke it, so I'm going to sell my long position. Okay, so say you use that to get out of your long position, and 3 or 4 weeks later, it's actually higher than where you sold it. So how could the PSBI have helped us in this situation? Well, once again, it's as simple as clicking on the PSBI on our platform. Now, since we're looking to sell or to exit a position, we would simply click on sell area. And if the PSBI has determined that there is a breakdown to the downside, you will see a red colored block. So here we see that the red colored block was way up here. We didn't have to wait for price to come down here. So the minute it closed there and you see the price 152.25, we rounded out to 152.25, that's where you would have exited your long position if you didn't want to go short, and you would have gotten out well in advance of this so-called Fibonacci support level. And even when it rose back up, you still would have exited higher. So that's how simple this process is. All you have to do is click on the PSBI tab and look to see if a red or a green breakout or breakdown area was generated. That's it. It's that simple. So let me share with you some more examples that happened within the last month or so. Some of them happened within the last couple of days. And remember, everything you're seeing today is coming, excuse me, from a display, excuse me, on the PTS Primo charting platform. I developed this with Pro Trader Strategies to actually auto-identify these advanced breakout areas to make breakout trading simple for you. Okay, let's look at this chart here in ADP. Now, obviously, the stock has been heading lower. So you could say, well, it's in a downtrend. So if it's going lower, you want to see if it's going to break out to the upside, right? So you're not looking to sell, you're looking to buy. Therefore, click on the PSBI on our platform and click on buy area. You would not click on sell area because it's going lower. You want to know when to buy. And sometimes it will generate a green area, but sometimes it won't. So that's why you have to click this on to see if it's there. And guess what? Here was the green breakout area, okay? Now, we give you the number 235 roughly. Anytime it traded at that number or higher, you want to be a buyer. So it did trade there. In fact, it closed above there, so you would have bought on that breakout entry right there. Now, this was in July. Look what happened coming into the end of August. Stock was up 40 points, okay? Not based off any news, not based off any support and resistance, not based on any convoluted tool you've been taught in the past that's going to help you earnings report, economic numbers coming out. No, just simply based on this proprietary indicator that is based on everyone out of the pool. How about this example in ABNB? Okay, so we're looking at an uptrend, obviously. So we're not going to be a buyer if it's in an uptrend. We want to know if this is going to break down. So therefore, when we click on the PSBI, we look to see if there's a red sell box. Okay, so we're going to click on sell area. And there just so happens to be. Now, in this case, we gave you the number here, roughly 150.77 or 75. Now, look what happened. It ticked there and then closed higher. This is okay. You're still going to enter to go short or to exit your long position if you don't like to go short. It doesn't matter if it closes below that red box or not. All that matters is that it traded below that. And look what happened. Coming into last month, the stock had dropped 40 points. Here's an example in Workday, okay? Now, I know a lot of traders say, well, Steve, I really don't need this because I kind of have it figured out. I know it's based on downtrend lines and uptrend lines. In fact, all I have to do is draw a line here, and I can see that we broke it. It didn't trade, it closed above there, but it traded above there. So I'm going to buy right here, okay? This is what a lot of students do. They try to, outsmart us and do it on their own. And guess what? It goes lower, right? If you had simply waited for the PSBI, you would have seen that it generated a green breakout area right here, okay? Now, this is not telling you to buy. Excuse me, this is not simply saying, oh, it's in the green, so buy it any time. No, because it can keep going lower and lower. What it's saying is that once it trades at this number here, basically 214.02, that's when you buy, okay? So let's see what happened. Well, in the very next bar, it did. So you would have entered right here. And guess what? 51 points, okay? So you see how simple this is. Remember, you can use this for day trading, intraday trading, for swing trading, weekly bars, monthly bars. The PSBI does not care or concern itself with what time frame bar it's looking at. All right, there's no reason to be looking at news, to be looking at, I stopped looking at news some 4 decades ago. All right, I don't look at economic indicators. I don't look at earnings. And if I'm still here trading, and basically I trade intraday, that's what I trade. I'm an intraday trader. If I trade intraday, the E-mini futures, I'm not concerned at all what the economic news is. I'm just looking at what is happening with price. Now, if you want to feel that you're encumbered to looking at news and earnings and things, then by all means, go ahead. But as an educator, my job is just to share with you things that have high levels of consistency that work. And I've never really found with hundreds of traders how news or outside sources have helped them. What really helps is listening to the chart in front of you. All right, here's an example in ATKR, all right? So the stock is going up. So we don't want to be a buyer. We're looking to sell this. And guess what? There's a red sell block. But we're not going to sell simply because it's in the red sell block. What we want to do is wait for it to trade here. We give you the number once again, 140.86, I believe. Now, the next day, it gapped down below. That's okay. And remember, this is not a system. So if you feel, well, it gapped down a little bit too low for me, I didn't want to sell it or exit that low, well, then that's up to you. Remember, you're in charge. Our job as an educator is not to tell you the way so many other websites do. You must buy here, you must sell here, you must place your stop here. No, that's not what an educator does. He shares with you different variables and lets you decide how you want to trade, because everyone should be trading differently. No two traders should ever trade alike. That's why none of our methods or strategies are ever systematized or come with statistics, because that goes against our philosophy of teaching. Someone could get the same signal and say, you know what, I'm going to enter one tick below here, okay, which is a very conservative way. Someone could say, okay, I'll wait and see what happens and sell sometime later on today. Still, someone could say, I'll sell on the opening. That's okay. Either way, there would have been great ideas, because look what happened. The stock fell 47 points coming into last mid-month, okay? So they're still based off the same signal, but everyone may have a different result. Now, someone would have said, hey, listen, I made 2 or 3 points, I'm out. Still, someone would have said, I'm going to go as far as possible and made, 45 points. Everyone is different. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to trade and get the same results. In fact, I traded systematic things for roughly a couple of years. In fact, I even taught them for some companies, and all of them had tremendous results going back 10, 20 years, some with 80% results of wins over losses. And guess what? In 2008, when the market fell out of bed, all of these systems blew up. Every one of them didn't have a bad drawdown. They lost everything. So I've lost faith in systematic and results and statistics of that nature, because I know when the market changes, it all goes out the window. It's kind of like that that phrase that Mike Tyson had. He goes, everyone has a plan in boxing until they get punched in the face. And that's true. Everything, all the statistics work great until all of a sudden there's an anomaly and a black swan event where everything goes out the window. So I would rather focus on trading based off what you see and feel and make you feel comfortable. That, in my opinion, is how you become a consistent trader. All right, here's an example in MNDY, okay? Obviously, we're in a downtrend. If someone said, well, I'm going to wait for a breakout right here above this area, this downtrend. Well, you didn't have to, because here was the green PSBI breakout box, and your entry would have been right here. This was the second week of August, 52 points. Now, obviously, something happened that caused this to gap up tremendously. Some news, some event. Isn't it funny how we knew to get in a day or two earlier? So there's no reason to follow what most people look at as standard breakout material. All right, here's an example in Canadian dollar. Now, someone looking at this would say, Steve, I usually trade breakouts or breakdowns based on trend lines, okay? Now, this is a standard trend line that's been broken, so I would normally sell here, right? Well, this is why most traders fail with standard technical analysis 101, because once again, we only teach things that have consistency, and there's not a lot of consistency in this. It's too subjective. You know, one trader's upward trend line is another trader's down trend line. So let's say you had sold this, okay? Most likely you would have been stopped out, because look what happened the very next two bars. It went right back higher. You would have got scared and said, you know what, this is not working. I'm getting out. You would have been stopped out, and then look what happened after that. Now it looks like it's going down. After making a big move up, now it looks going down. The trouble is, you've already been psyched out. You've already been scared that you lost money, and you said, I'm not going to go short, because what if it doesn't work again? So this is why most traders fail, because they're using things that aren't very consistent. If you had simply had waited for a PSBI breakdown area, you would have seen that one was generated, clicking on here, the entire time. And all you had to do was wait for it to trade below that red area. Now, you wouldn't have had gotten in too early. You would have simply waited. Sure, you wouldn't have gotten in at the top, but you would have been confirmed right here and still been able to potentially capture 345 pips to the downside. This just happened coming into last week. Here's another example of the British pound, okay? Obviously in a downtrend. But then look what happened. It broke out and took off to the upside, okay? So how could we have taken advantage of this? Well, simply add the PSBI. And we see here that way before this bottomed out, this was already signaling that this is where you have to get in if it's going to break out. So right here, you would have waited for an entry, and you could have potentially captured 425 pips, once again, coming into last week. So this is happening in an entirely different market. Let's look at PDD, all right? Once again, a PSBI red box was generated right here. This was just about a couple of weeks ago. You could have gotten short or sold your long position at or near the highs, because the stock fell 55 points in just 3 days. Now, once again, this was just last week on the 26th of August. Something happened to cause this stock to gap down. Isn't it funny how we were still identifying a breakdown area almost a week in advance? Remember, this is not based on any fundamental news. It's not based on any support and resistance. It's based on that concept of the last buyer buying. And here's an example in a less expensive stock. A lot of traders say, well, Steve, you show stocks that are $200 or $300, but can this work on the inexpensive stock? Sure, it works fantastic. For example, look what happened here, so-called resistance, and then it broke out, okay? Now, I'm not sure if you would have bought it here, because even had you bought it and been licking your chops and seen it go up, look what happened where it closed. Wouldn't you have rather bought it somewhere down here where there was a PSBI breakout a full week in advance, okay? Where you could have doubled your money. I think, in fact, possibly tripled your money. In fact, price soared, yes, 300% in just 1 week. Let's look at SMCI. Okay, this was in July coming into August. We are in an uptrend. Someone would say, hey, Steve, this stock is really good. There's good fundamentals, good news about it. The market's strong. Why would I be concerned about a breakdown? This is going higher. Well, because the PSBI is identified that there's a high probability it's going to break down if it trades below here. Now, on the very next bar, which is in end of July, it gapped down. So if you were long, this would have been a good place to exit your long position. If you're a more aggressive short trader, you could have bought puts or some type of spread strategy with a downward bias, because look what happened to the stock. It fell 470 points, or price dropped 55%, over half of its value coming into last week. Once again, we don't care about fundamental news. We don't care what the company's doing. Everything is in the chart in front of you. If you feel you must still look at news and so-called support and resistance and these things, fundamental things, that's fine. Go ahead. But as I stated earlier, I stopped looking at those things. I was taught the very same thing 47 years ago. And if they couldn't make me money 47 years ago, I don't think they're going to start, those things are going to start miraculously making traders money now. In fact, I didn't become a consistent trader until I dropped all of those traditional ways of trading, conventional ways of trading the markets. Once I started just focusing on price, that's when I started to become consistent. All right, let's look at Costco. All right, we're in a downtrend, right? So does that mean we want to sell? Well, we could. I mean, we have strategies that will trade with the trend. But let's say you think it's getting ready to bottom down, bottom out, according to what you've been looking at. Okay, there's nothing wrong with thinking that. Then punch up the PSBI just to see in case it thinks it is going to change trends. Click on buy area. And yes, it's saying right here, in fact, there was a green PSBI breakout area right here. Now look what happened. On this day, which was the 6th of August, it traded above, so that would have been your entry. And look what happened. It closed lower. This is what a lot of traders, especially beginning students of ours, say, hey, Steve, this doesn't work. I bought it, and it closed much lower. And in fact, the next day it went up and closed lower. So this doesn't work. Remember, we teach you in the course where to place your stop, where to protect yourself, how to stay in the trade and manage it. And according to what we teach you, you would still be in this trade. And there's nothing to worry about. You haven't been stopped out yet. And look what happened. Coming into the end of last month, the stock was up 90 points. So a lot of traders scare themselves and they get stopped out, or they stop themselves out and sell at the market because they're scared they don't see something happening right away. This is why we share with you different ways to enter. So you could have gotten in at a less expensive price, different stop placement, so you could have least amount of risk as possible. Or if you don't mind a lot of risk, we show you ways in which to have large risk to stay in the trade longer. We also have different exits for you. Say a trader wanted to get in and out quickly. Well, they could have exited maybe on this second bar right here and taken a nice profit. Maybe somewhere here, or even somewhere here they could have exited. Some traders may have still been long the trade. It's up to them. Remember, no two traders should ever trade alike. You should be taught things that have consistency and share with you how to apply them, but then teach you different ways in which to enter, exit, and place your stop. This is the essence of real trading. This is how you really teach someone to become consistent. And what we talked about today is a great way to become consistent. We talked about advanced breakout trading. Now, let's review what we taught you today. It's based on the everyone out of the pool concept. Remember, in my book, I talked about this, where a stock goes up, bottoms out and goes up, not because it's breaking out, but because all of the sellers are out of the pool, and conversely, vice versa when it breaks down. Now, that's how it's designed to identify these true breakout areas. It's based on the proprietary indicator, which we call the PSBI. You can apply to any market, any time frame, any direction. So it doesn't matter. Some of you may be saying, can I see this in a different market? We have students that trade this for the E-mini 5-minute charts. I trade it personally, intraday E-mini charts. We have students trading this on weekly forex bars. We have people trading on monthly bars. It makes no difference, okay? Also, it can be used many different ways as an exit tool. So if you don't like to go short, and if you're long a stock, even based on a strategy, didn't have to be based on the PSBI, well, you can use it as your exit. Also, you can use it as stop and reverse. Basically, you're taking every signal the PSBI generates, okay? Lastly, you can scan for nightly setups. This is the beauty of this with the platform, because on the platform, you can scan and see what the setups are for the next day. Now, ask yourself, do you think the PSBI can help your trading for the remainder of 2024? We only have 4 months left in this year, if you can believe it. And I can almost guarantee that the majority of you are nowhere near where you promised yourself you'd be at the beginning of the year. That's okay. The majority of all traders have a very difficult time trading. Many of them fail altogether. I truly believe the PSBI can take your trading to the next level. So because of that, we have a great attendee offer for all of you taking the time out to watch this short educational video today. It's our PSBI breakout indicator special. This is our non-conventional breakout tool that generates many setups. You can apply to breakouts and breakdowns, virtually any market, any time frame. You can apply as a stop loss method. And here's the one thing that we didn't talk about. An extra bonus that's going to be included with this offer is you're going to get our PSBI price projections. Now, I didn't talk about that, but let me share with you what these are. Once you get a PSBI breakout to the upside or the downside, you will automatically as well see a displayed price projection level. Now, on our platform, it's as simple as this. You click on, once again, the PSBI right here. And before, where you click on buy area, you want to click right below it, click on buy price projection, PP. And this will show you, based on a formula, where the price is projected that it should go. Now, it does not mean that it's going to stop there and reverse. Oftentimes it does, but it just means that there's a good likelihood that it will go up to that level. So you can see this displayed even before it breaks out. So this will help you in making your decision if I want to take this trade or not. If it's just a matter of 3 or 4 points, you say to yourself, well, I don't think it's worth it. I would want to risk more than that to make only 3 or 4 points, so I won't take the trade, because there's a high probability it will reach that area. Or if it's going to be 10, 20 points and you say, hey, listen, there's small risk here. I think this is a good shot. It's not guaranteed that it's going to get up here, but this is a good shot. I may take this trade. Now here, you would have seen a price projection in Apple. This is an older chart going back to April. But look what happened. In 2 days, it got up to the price projection. So different ways to trade this. You could have sold your position entirely, or you could have said, listen, I'm going to move my stop. Let's say your stop was somewhere down here. You move it to unchanged or maybe halfway up. Or maybe you sell half your position. Maybe you had 200 shares, sell half here and move your position, your stop loss to unchanged. Lots of different ways to employ it. But look what happened after that. Came straight down. Here's another example. Here was a sell entry. Same process applies. Click on PSBI, and since it was a PSBI sell signal, you would simply hit sell PP, sell price projection, and it would automatically appear down here. Now, this is a good ways distance down below. So you say to yourself, if it trades at this level, 91.61, I think I'll take this trade. And look what happened. It traded there the next day, and in 1 day, hit the price projection and right back up. Do you see how powerful this tool is? In DDOG, once again, you have the red seller's block, but we haven't been triggered yet. Click on PSBI, click on sell area, and we see that it's down here. If you decided to take this, you have roughly about a 9-point gain. Look what happened. In 3 days, it hit the PSBI price projection and was making new highs 2 weeks later. Lastly, here's an example in KLAC. We have the secret breakout area right here. Click on PSBI, the buy price projection, and it's way up here. So you say to yourself, you know what? I think this is a pretty good trade. I think I will take this trade. You would have entered right here on the breakout, place your stop, the different stop placements we teach you. And look what happened. In about a week's time, a little over a week, it got right up to the price projection and then started to head lower. So this is included on top of that with the platform, because you see that you will only find the PSBI price projections on the PTS Primo charting platform. So because of that, we're also going to throw in our last extra bonus here, because everything you saw today was on our platform. So we're going to throw in, if you decide to become a student in the PSBI tool, you'll also get a full free year of the platform with the PSBI price projected. Okay, you're going to save roughly $1,740. That's nearly $1,800 off the price, a full year. Now, the full year comes with other things that are on the platform as well, things you will not find on any other charting platform, because they're things that I've taken from my days on the floor. Things like the PSBI price projection we just showed you, but also the enhanced buy-sell line, 4 different ways to find out what the overall trend is, a strength of trend tool that tells you if there's still more room and gas left in the tank for the trend, and auto-generated exit signals. These are great signals that will, with one click, you can find out where you should be exiting a trade. Lots of great free things. This is just the tip of the iceberg that I only find on the PTS Primo charting platform. Now, I know a lot of traders will say, hey, Steve, yeah, this is all well and good, but when the news comes out, this all goes out the window, right? It doesn't work anymore because you never know what the news is going to be, good or bad. Well, that's true. No one ever knows what the news is going to be. But it's been my experience that when you used materials and when you use tools based on market behavior, oftentimes, not guaranteed, but oftentimes the signals are in advance of the news. For example, this just happened this past week, August 29th. Yahoo Finance reported that dollar stores ailing as Dollar General reports a slew of problems, okay? Basically, the earnings, the economic numbers about the actual company were terrible, so the stock fell out of bed. As we can see here, the market prior to that news was basically going sideways, right? Not a lot of information here. It looked like you were waiting for a breakout to the upside. And then look what happened. Here's where the news came out about the earnings and the stock fell out of bed. So this is where traders say, well, see, do you see why, Steve, I don't really trust a lot of these things? Because when a news event comes, it all goes out the window. You could have generated a buy signal and this could have happened. It's true. It's happened before. I'm not going to say it doesn't. But as I stated earlier, when your market tools and trading methods are based on market behavior and not outside sources like fundamental news, economic indicators, support and resistance lines, when they're based on these very basic things, oftentimes the setups and the signals are given prior to the news event. For example, all you had to do with the PSBI was click it on, and you would have seen that there was a breakdown red area given a week in advance. And one day prior to that news event, you would have been able to either sell your long position and gotten out, or most people would have said, oh no, Steve, it's going to break out. This is a breakout area here. This is going to break out on the good news. You would have been out altogether and entirely missed a 40-point drop in one day. Now, if you're still not convinced, let me share with you something that happened today. This was in ZS, okay? Now, yesterday, the PSBI generated a red sell block right here. You would have entered on the 3rd, which was yesterday, because it traded below. Now, once again, if you were long this stock, you would have had a nice profit. You could have exited because look what happened today. 35-point drop in just one day. Now, for all I know, it's even lower. I took this just before today's presentation. Now, I know you go to a lot of webinars, you go to a lot of things online, and they show you fantastic signals that look amazing. And then you look at the date and they happened about 6 or 7 months ago, right? We always want to show you how these things are happening all the time. I mean, this happened yesterday afternoon coming into today. Either you could have saved yourself a loss of 35 points or perhaps made 35 points in one day by going short. So this is the beauty of these tools. I mean, they're very consistent. Sure, they will have some every once in a while that don't work, but over time, they're extremely consistent. A year from today, you will have wished you became a member of the PSBI course. So take advantage of this great offer, okay? All right, let's break it down. Here's what our special offer is today on the Primo Secret Breakout Indicator. Normally, this costs close to $5,000, the PSBI, just for the PSBI alone. So what we're going to do is have a special discount down $500, 10% down to $44.95. But we're also going to include payment plans. So if you can't come up with $44.95 with the 10% discount, you can just put down a fraction. And by fraction, I literally mean a fraction. I've been told not to say what it is, but it's a minimal price of $44.95. Just a one-time payment deposit, and then establish a payment plan with Pro Trader Strategies, my sister site, and you can still be up and running as soon as today, okay? Either way you decide to go, pay in full with the 10% discount at $44.95, or establish a payment plan for a really minimal down payment and then a monthly payment plan, you will still get the full 12 months free of the platform. That comes with the price projection signals, that also comes with the scanner, and that also comes with a host of other different things that we just don't have time to go into, okay? So this is a great, great offer, 2 different ways to purchase this great PSBI offer. Here's how to take advantage of this offer. Contact Pro Trader Strategies. They have trading consultants manning the phones right now. I would highly recommend giving them a call at area code 310-598-6677. They have trading consultants manning the phones right now. They would be happy either to take your order if you're ready to sign up, or to just answer any questions you may have about the platform, about establishing a payment plan. They can give you a quote. There's absolutely no obligation. So I know a lot of students felt uncomfortable. They said, Steve, I'm afraid to call up because I think I'm going to be pressured into buying something. No, they're there. They're there to work with you. They're not pressuring at all. They'll simply give you a quote, answer your questions, and you can think about it. I just would not waste time thinking about it because this offer is only good for a limited time, okay? Now, I promised you the last portion of the presentation to answer any questions that you may have. So if you do have any questions, kindly go to the question and answer box or to the chat box. I promise I will answer them as quickly as possible. Let me see here. Let's see, but this advice is not proper way to use it for day trading. Well, actually, that may be, I don't know how you day trade, but I've been day trading with the PSBI for over a year now. And so the advice works pretty well for me. Like I said, I'm not in any position, or do I really want to tell people how not to trade. I'm just here to tell you what works for me and what I've seen through other traders, what has stood the test of time. And if you want to rely on fundamental news or earnings or things of the traditional wisdom like support and resistance, Elliott wave, volume, I'm just here to tell you that I was taught those same things over 4 decades ago when I first started trading, and they didn't make me any money. They were just too subjective. I would say, okay, so this is great. These are great earnings, so that means I should buy. And the stock would go straight down. Or there would be terrible news on the market, terrible economic news, and the market would go straight up. So it just wasn't cut and dry. It wasn't. It was just too subjective. It wasn't until I started trading the methods and the techniques that my mentors taught me that I started to become consistent. And they really stated that everything is grounded in stripping away this traditional wisdom of how we're supposed to trade and letting it go and just focusing on price and market behavior. Once I started doing that, that's when I started to become consistent. So I'm an intraday trader. So this advice actually does work for me for intraday day trading. Perhaps it doesn't work for you, but I'm just here to tell you that it does work for me and I can teach you how to do it, okay? Can this be applied to E-mini and NASDAQ? Yes, it can. It can be applied to intraday. I trade it with E-mini, and we have tons of traders who use it on different markets like crypto, forex, ETFs, even long-term, like monthly bars of stocks. So it makes no difference because the PSBI doesn't, tell the difference between a 5-minute bar and a weekly bar. It just looks at market behavior, okay? What happens if I need help with this? Well, okay, this student is saying, or prospective student is saying they have not been trading for that long. Everyone will get my personal email address. So if you're having trouble or if you just need a little guidance, you can always email me whenever you'd like, even on the weekends, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. So we're with you there every step of the way, okay? Any more questions? Remember, this is for a limited time only. This is a limited offer. So if you have questions about the price, or you just want to get a quote for a payment plan, please do not hesitate to contact Pro Trader Strategies at 310-598-6677. Now, that link you see below that is the link that will take you to the info page, or if you'd like to sign up, you can sign up there as well. It's not a live link, but they posted a live link on the chat box. So you just have to click that open and you will see it there as well, okay? Okay, if there are no further questions, we have come to the end of this week's presentation. I really hope you learned something about what we feel, not only about breakout trading, but most especially in how we really want to educate you as a trader. Remember, my philosophy is the only way you can become a consistent trader is by making your own trading decisions. The good news is that's the service we provide. We provide you with all these different very high probability consistent methods so that you can make your decisions as to how you want to trade with them. And we work with you every step of the way so that ultimately you can take charge of your own trading. That's the cornerstone behind all of our education, okay? So as we close here and take one last look at our disclaimer, I just want to say thanks for taking time out of your Wednesday, but most especially, I look forward to all of you becoming students of mine in the PSBI course. Thank you so much for attending. I wish you all the best of luck. Bye-bye.